Ever catch yourself thinking, I'm too old for this? Even though you're nowhere near old, you leave a party early. You get irritated by loud places. You secretly enjoy routines, silence, and early mornings. And when people your age talk about drama, trends, or chaos, you just feel tired. Not physically tired, existentially tired. If that sounds familiar, this video might feel uncomfortably accurate, because feeling older than your age isn't about being boring or pessimistic. It's about how your mind adapted to life earlier than it was supposed to. And there are a few very specific psychological patterns behind it. Let's start with one of the most common. Some people feel older because they had to grow up too early. You know the type. The kid who was mature for their age. The teenager who handled responsibilities adults avoided. The one who became the emotional anchor in their family. Maybe that was you. While others were figuring out who they were, you were figuring out how to survive, paying attention, reading the room, making sure everything didn't fall apart. Psychology calls this early responsibility parentification, but you don't need the term to recognize the feeling. When you spend your early years managing stress, emotions, or people, your brain skips stages. You don't get the luxury of carelessness, so adulthood doesn't feel new. It feels familiar. That's why people like this often feel old even when they're young. They've already lived in seriousness. They've already carried weight. Then there's another type. People who didn't grow up early. They accelerated early. They jumped into adult life fast. Full-time jobs, long-term relationships, major responsibilities, big decisions before their peers even felt ready. From the outside, it looks impressive. From the inside, it feels exhausting. Psychologically, the brain measures age not just by years, but by experiences. And when you stack adult milestones early, your internal clock moves faster. You've already crossed bridges others haven't even seen yet. So when people your age stress over small things, it feels strange. You've already zoomed out. That maturity has benefits: clarity, discipline, self-awareness, but it also creates distance. You start to feel older not because you're wiser, but because you've already lived ahead. Then there's a quieter reason people feel older: chronic mental load. This is the person who's always thinking, always planning, always managing invisible responsibilities: work stress, financial pressure, family obligations, emotional labor. Their life doesn't look dramatic, but it's heavy. And here's the psychological twist. Stress literally alters how old you feel on a daily basis. Studies show that on high-stress days, people report feeling significantly older than their actual age. Less control equals more perceived age. So if you constantly feel worn down, mentally drained, or emotionally flat, that old feeling isn't your personality. It's burnout. Your brain is tired of carrying too much for too long. Then there's the old soul type, the person who never quite fit into their generation, who prefers older music, deeper conversations, quieter spaces, who feels detached from trends, noise, and constant stimulation. This isn't snobbery, it's sensitivity. People like this process the world deeply. They notice patterns, hypocrisy, repetition. And once you see too much, it's hard to unsee it. That awareness creates distance from trends, from crowds, from chaos. So while others chase novelty, you crave meaning. And that contrast makes you feel older, not in age, but in orientation. Finally, there's the group no one talks about enough. People who've been through something that changed them. Loss, trauma, instability, a moment that quietly rewired how they see life. When you faced something heavy early on, your priorities shift. Small things stop mattering. Time feels fragile. You become cautious, observant, and protective. Psychology shows that trauma can accelerate both emotional and biological aging. But more importantly, it accelerates perspective. You don't live lightly anymore. You live intentionally. And that intentionality can look like age. So here's the truth. Feeling older than your age doesn't mean you're broken. It means your mind adapted to responsibility, to stress, to awareness, to survival. The question isn't why you feel older, it's what that feeling gave you. Depth, resilience, clarity, boundaries, or maybe fatigue that needs rest. So ask yourself, which type felt closest to you? And more importantly, are you letting yourself live now, not just endure? If this video felt like it was describing you without knowing you, you're not alone. And if you want more psychology that quietly explains the parts of yourself you never learned how to name, subscribe to the channel, because sometimes understanding yourself is the most rejuvenating thing there is.